Get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, and welcome to a video looking at the KV-220. This is not going to be a proper review by any means. I bought this tank only last night, and this is just kind of a preliminary impressions. And yeah, even though I am Lepore, I still went, shut up and take my money at Wargaming because, yeah. But I do have a kind of a reason for doing that, even though I don't especially need another premium tank. It's the fact that it's a Soviet heavy premium. I've got 3 already. Another one means I can train up my Russian heavy Uber crew even more. So there was that reason for it. So it's not just that I'm being ultra completionist. So we'll have I'm just gonna prattle on about it slightly first. It's pretty much an identical looking hull to the KV-3, and if you've got KV-3 in your garage and you compare the two, they look virtually identical. The armour isn't actually quite the same. This thing has got slightly better side armour but slightly worse front armour. It's 100 at the front and 100 on the sides. It's also got what is basically a stock looking KV-1 turret, and it's got a 76mm gun. I'm not sure about the stats offhand on the KV-1, but the gun, the penetration on this gun, it's okay. It's not terrible. I will say, and this is just what I'm going to say right at the beginning, is if you're looking for a tier 5 Soviet premium heavy, get this thing, get the Churchill 3. It's a less good tank than the Churchill 3. It's a less fun tank and a less flexible tank. But it's still better than the T14 and the Excelsior. It's definitely better by a long way. So let's get this replay started. So the first thing you have to do is actually kind of treat it a bit like a Churchill 3 in some regards. The Churchill 3 of course has a pretty weak turret, as does the British Churchill 1. And it's also got a very fast firing gun. It's actually lower damage but better penetration, but the weak point is still the turret. So it's kind of an odd situation. It's one where actually only exposing a turret is sometimes a bad idea, or it seems to me it's sometimes a bad idea, because if they've only got your turret to shoot through, they're actually shoot at rather, they're actually more likely to pen that than they are the front of your tank. The 100 side armor means you can also angle quite a lot, but even when you're top tier, and I want to say it's a tier 5 premium, so therefore if you're not top tier, you're probably going to struggle, and that's true of any tier 5 premium tank. If you are top tier, there are still plenty of guns that can hurt you, especially among the tank destroyers. But there was one match earlier on, for instance, and this is basically the 2 matches I'm going to show you today are just from a morning's playing, pretty much. There was one match earlier on where I came across a T1 heavy that wasn't even trying for weak spots. I was at an extreme angle, and he was just penning me all day long, and it was just gold ammo all the way. So some people are gonna I don't even think it was the fact he saw that I was in an armoured tank and went for the gold ammo. I think he was just spamming the gold ammo regardless of what enemies he saw. But there are plenty of tanks where if they bounce a couple of shots, you know, plenty of players who will just switch to the gold ammo. So don't think that armor is going to be super amazing. It's a blessing and a curse. It's more likely to get people shooting the gold ammo at you. But the smart ones will know to shoot the turret anyway, because yes, it's 90mm armor, but it's not at all curved. It's only very slightly sloped. Your effective armor on the turret is, I'm not sure if it would even be 100mm. The gun itself, like I said, it's a 76mm gun. The rate of fire is good. With my brothers in arms crew, with vents, with a gun rammer, it's about 3.5 seconds on this tank, which is okay. The DPM on this is far from amazing. But I mean, this kind of situation, for instance, what you really want to be doing with this tank, because of the pen, which is I think 99, and the reasonably fast firing gun, it's very good at beating up enemy mediums, and that kind of is true of the Excelsior and the T14 as well. It's not really a heavyweight you should be necessarily rushing to the front to fire to fight against enemy heavies. Now this VK fortunately didn't have the Konish. my gunner actually has oh, what do you call it? Dead eye. So yeah, I got most of the health on that guy. 648 damage. The KV-1 next to me ninja'd the kill for the last 2 hit points. Wow. You rotter. This KV-1 does a lot of kill securing. To be fair, he actually gets a lot of damage as well. But look at that, another blatant kill secure. This guy was a pro. He's got 3 kills already. And I've done more damage than... I've done 1200 damage, and that guy got all of the kills. So I'm just going to YOLO it. This particular match, I'm going to say, is an example of how much of a bully you can be, almost, when you're facing tanks that don't know to aim for your weak spots. Basically, when you're facing much worse players than you. If you're in a situation where you can, where you're obviously facing less competent players, Derp Matilda, wow, then this tank is really very good, and that's the same in the Churchill. I think it's probably to some extent true in the Excelsior and the T14 as well, but those have a worse gun. In fact, in the case of the Excelsior, it's got a worse gun and worse armour. I mean, the Excelsior is actually kind of a funny one, because the armour's not terrible, but it's very flat. So, yeah, this is a case where even a little bit of angling, you know, that's the rear and sides of a T1 Heavy. A little bit of angling is enough to defeat this gun. I don't have many gold rounds on it, but I might pack some more. But it's still not as many gold rounds as I have on the Excelsior, and I've yet to have a really good game with the Excelsior, because it's not a particularly fun tank. I'll also say, I don't regret buying this. I mean, I might do when I look at going to pay off my credit card later, but... in of itself, I don't actually regret buying this, because it feels like it's a sort of a slightly less capable Churchill 3. I mean, it actually has a very good... it moves pretty well compared to the KV-1. It's the gun is sufficient. I think that's the best you can say about the gun. The accuracy is probably the worst thing about the gun, actually. If it had better accuracy, you could make use of that limited penetration more, but overall it doesn't feel bad, and I'm kind of enjoying playing it. Most of the battles, actually, I was going to say some of the battles, but most of the battles where I've been in mid-tier, or well, actually no, you can only ever be mid-tier in this thing. Well, I know you could be bottom tier, you could be all 4 tier 5s and tier 6s. If there are tier 6s in the battle, is what I'm trying to get at. It can struggle badly, but that's the same as the rest of the tier 5 premiums. And bear in mind, of course, when I say I was having terrible games, this is a weekend, and there's a weekend special, and there's actually a bonus on credits for tier 6 machines at the moment. So there are a lot of not very good players in their tier 6s, and that was hurting my chances quite a lot as well. So there we go, that KV-1 that was with me actually got the top gun. But man, dem kill secures. So 1800 damage. This has been really very nice. I've not faced any enemies that were really taxing at all, and the enemies that I have faced have been ones that have been no match for my gun. I think about the worst thing you can face at tier 5 with this is an AT2, but that goes the same for any low penetration tank. So I'm just not going to get that SU-85B now, but oh, there's Artie. The mobility of this is actually, it's okay, it's not bad. Yeah, I was busy typing there. Okay, birch gun, I think I'll have that. I actually bounced a shot from the birch gun earlier. Some of the low tier RT you don't need to worry about, others you do. So, I think I did alright in that match, but it wasn't exactly a tremendously difficult opposing team. The scores were okay. I got Confederate and Steel Wall, 2k damage, and you can see there the profit on that was 100k with premium. Now I think there was that was with one of the weekend special bonuses. That wasn't just the raw profit, because that would be damn impressive if that was just the raw profit, but it wasn't. But still, from that one match, I made quite a lot of money. So let's go on to the next match, and this one's going to be a little bit different. It's still top tier, because like I said, I haven't had a good a good battle where I've been with tier 6s yet, just because most of the tier 6s have been absolutely dire. But the next one is kind of I was deliberately doing something where, well, we'll see. Let's just go on to the next battle. So this is the next battle. It's Siegfried Line. This time we're in encounter mode. A couple of heavies on each side, but on the whole, it's not a bad matchup for this. It's mostly tier 5s, but that's, you know, that's okay. You want tier 5s in this thing. Like I've been saying, you don't want to see tier 6s especially. In this match, I decide to go a bit YOLO. I just deliberately push this thing and see how far I can take it and just how much I can get away with. This is going to be absolute terrible tactics, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm heading off on my own basically. I want to see how much of a beating can I take. And like I said, I'm still in the... I wanted to get a video out, and I've only played like a couple of battles last night and maybe 10 battles this morning and over the early afternoon, just to try and get a feel for this. And sometimes that means doing stupid stuff to see just how far you can push it. So here we go, 3A, and reasonably fast reload, so I managed to nail him. He's a very low health enemy. Matilda Black Prince down there, and a KV-1. That's kind of tricky. This is a situation, like I was saying, you don't want people to only be able to shoot your turret because there's a chance they'll pen. And there we go. That Matilda Black Prince with 110 penetration, more than enough for my turret. So I'm being cautious here, basically. I'm bounced on the side of a Black Prince. Matilda Black Prince even. But I know I can hit his turret, so let's just be sensible. And I'm pulling back in between each shot because he can fire like twice as fast as I can. So there we go. I've done a reasonable amount of damage already. I could engage the KV-1. Took a hit in the side from the T-34. That was in the side of my turret. Not very surprising because it's not very armoured. AFK Panzer III-4. Okay, let's take that. Now this is kind of stupid just sitting here. I can get shot from all kinds of places. I know the enemy Churchill 1's on the field, I know there's a KV-1 on the field, and there's the 3001H, and I'm not sure what gun he's got, but quite probably the Cornish. And bear in mind, that's 157 pen. That is way more than is, even if you're really angled on this thing, 157 pen is... It's definitely going to go through your turret. It's quite probably going to go through your hull as well. So like I was saying, even at tier 5, there's plenty to be worried about. Not even just the tank destroyers. Whoa, there's that T-34. And talking of T-34s, there's the T-34, the Type T-34, anything that can tote a 57mm gun, you know, those have got good penetration and a very fast rate of fire, which is a kind of a deadly combination when you're in a reasonably slow tank. Oh, that was lucky, tracked the guy, okay. And I'm down to 74 health now. I'm not exactly... I've done 1k damage, nearly 1100, but that was only really by the skin of my teeth I got out of that, so that was pretty stupid on my part. That was not a good move. But what the hey, I wanted to press this thing to its limit, so I think I did a reasonable job. Anyway, there's that 3001H, who really helped their team by sitting at the back the whole time. Yeah, that guy moved maybe 100 meters from the spawn point. Yeah, GG. There's a flak bus on the enemy side and the Churchill 1 up in the north. So, no, can't pen the angled side of the 3001H. Not reliably. I suspect the first shot went into his tracks. That one missed entirely. And now he's disappeared. This thing, like the KV-1, it's got a terrible view range. I think it's 310 meters. And I haven't got anything on it to enhance that. I do have... Now let's see, I've got... my radio man's got the extra 3% cruise skill, and the commander is on his 5th cruise skill training up the recon perk, so it's or is it no, that's not a perk, is it? That's a skill. Yes, that is a skill because it comes into effect. Perks are the ones that need to be at 100%. I knew that. I'm backing the hell off because this VK can... He just needs to like auto-aim and he's going to kill me, basically. It's going to go through my turret. And that is kind of a problem with this turret. There's a lot of stuff at tier 5, actually, that will just be able to auto-aim and pen your turret. So it's just the 3001H. And... oh, is he looking at me? Not sure. and someone else gets him. I could have had that last kill, but no. Anyway, so there we go. That was the second replay. I did actually have a third decent game, but it was not that decent. It was okay. It was my first mastery badge. Again, I think I got steel wall in that one, and also sniper. On the whole, it was okay. You know, it was less damage than the other one, but I was just playing completely stupidly and just seeing how far I could get away with whilst playing completely stupidly. So yeah, so it's in the gift shop right now as of making this video. It's part of a €50 package, and I just kind of gritted my teeth and bought it because that €50 includes 10k gold and a month of premium. It's not a terrible deal if you really want the tank and you would like some gold and premium time anyway. But if you're really looking for a tier 5 premium heavy tank on the Soviet tree, get the Churchill. Don't bother with a KV-220. It is inferior to the Churchill and it's less fun than the Churchill. Also, it costs at the moment a hell of a lot more than the Churchill. So unless you're really completionist, unless you absolutely have to have an extra premium heavy to grind your Soviet crews with, I would say it's probably not worth €50. It's not a bad tank though, and it's certainly better, as I've said, than the Excelsior and the T14. So if you enjoyed my first look at the KV-220, you can leave a comment below, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.